And good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everybody. Hope you are particularly well. Well, we've got good news and we've got bad news. So the bad news is that today is our last call of the day 5 productivity enhancement challenge. So that's the sad news more than anything else. But the good news is that we have an awesome packed evening with a good friend of mine. Actually, his name is called David Lowe. And David, actually, believe it or not, we met through social media, and I was I was really impressed by the value that he was giving a lot. And I'm a real big believer in connecting with people that like to add value to people. Not for and what I really like about David is that he has no expectations whatsoever. Same for myself. And that's why we end up clicking particularly well. Got some great values as well and things like that. So one of the things, and I mentioned this a couple of days ago, I think, or in fact, sorry, I mentioned it this morning about a course that I did about understanding sales funnels. I had no clue about what sales funnels was up until about 5 months ago. However, and now it's given me what really it gave me was a real kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It gave me a real eye opener to what marketing really is and how you can generate different revenue streams just by creating a sales funnel. I thought I knew what a sales funnel was, but clearly I had no clue. But David's going to give you a little bit more insight and things like that. How do you go about doing things? What is it? Things like that. So we're going to get some really useful insights about that. So drum roll, please. And without further ado, Mr. David Lowe.
Welcome. Hi, Adam. Sorry.
They call me Andy then. That's
yeah, I know.
Oh, my goodness me.
I was just talking to somebody called Andy on my messenger. Actually,
I'll let you
yeah, and he was talking about this because he saw the Facebook post I just put out there.
Cool.
And he said, "When are you going to do your own show?" And I went, "Well, who knows? When I get time."
Very cool.
Pretty cool.
So, first of all, just want to say thanks very much for spending a little bit of time with us this evening.
Yeah, pleasure. Absolutely.
Cool. So I know you quite well, but just for the benefit of the audience and people listening in, do you want to just give us a bit of a background from when you started off in entrepreneurship, and how do you get to where you are right now, and how did you get kind of I suppose kind of an expert in terms of sales funnels and your understanding about it?
Yeah, it's I mean, my background really, I mean, my background is, my passion was martial arts originally, and I got involved with that and became a full-time instructor. And then through that connection, I built a distribution company selling martial arts equipment, and we grew that with my ex-partner through probably from the mid-90s right up until I exited the company around about 2010. We grew that to a 7-figure business, which is still running today in the UK. So I learned a lot of e-commerce by doing that, because when we started out, or when I got involved, and the company was very small then, there was nothing, there were no websites. It was all paid ads and advertising. I remember taking all the orders down, writing them down on a notepad with the telephone. Those were the days. But through that, I got involved because of my interest in running a business anyway, in my own schools at that time. I kind of got involved with the online world, and my first sort of like venture into discovery really was through Frank Kern, who you may have heard of.
Yes. Great guy.
Still around now. I mean, in those days, he had long hair. He was a surf dude, Adam, as well. It's that typical look. Yeah. And with a colleague of mine who's still a business coach with me today, we were looking for some sort of somewhere to go to find this information, and he was it really. And we took our knowledge from growing the company, the distribution company. I had my own business coach. I brought a business coach in to help me systemize the company, because we grew so fast, and we got to a point around about 2004, and we kind of like scratching heads going, well, we got to get organized. We need to sort this out. We need some systems in place and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
So we learned all about that stuff. And fast forward, and I learned all about the Frank Kern stuff. And we systemized the company, and we took that process and created our own coaching system in the martial arts niche at the time. And we were the first to do that and help school owners build their businesses, basically.
Cool.
And on the back end of that, around about 2009, I actually built my first landing page. Now, Russell Brunson, who some of you may have heard of, he talked about his potato gun thing he made and how he had to cobble together this sales funnel, which wasn't a funnel at the time. There was no such word as a sales funnel, I guess. And the word might have been around, but it wasn't from a point of view of a lead magnet landing page.
Sure.
So we did that. We created our coaching manual. We sold it online, Adam. Yeah, straight
back in the day.
Yeah, and I wish I'd called it ClickFunnels.
then you would have been a multi-millionaire by then.
Possibly, if the path had taken me there. Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool.
Yeah. So and the back end of the story is around about 2010-11, I exited again, and I created some lead magnets for our niche as well, which were basically book covers with the downloadable what to put in the ebook. I think I developed about 7 covers, and I did that on a thing called Killer Covers, which back in those days, it was just so difficult. So easy now to do stuff, but so difficult back then. And I created another lead page, and then I got involved with another gear company, so that took me away from the funnels again and coaching. And then about a year and a half ago, I exited that company, and that was venture backed as well. So I had a bit of experience through that side, the venture capital side of things, and the way not to run a business, because originally we did it organically. Anyway, so I exited that, and I was getting into Shopify because of big commerce and was the system I used, and I was into dropship. I knew about drop shipping. I'd already worked with manufacturers in China, Pakistan, knew about that stuff. Drop shipping was a great idea. Did about 3 or 4 months studying Shopify, built a shop, started selling stuff. And then I saw this advert with a cowboy saying, websites are dead. Okay. And I thought, what's this all about? And I knew about lead pages and sales funnels anyway. And that's when I discovered ClickFunnels. And I did the one funnel away challenge, which if you know that that's what you should do if you really want to get into the nuts and bolts of it all. And got online again, and where I am now, basically.
Very cool. Thanks very much for sharing that with me. That was a really, really interesting story. So, and completely different background to kind of your average Joe Blogs, martial arts schools, which is a very specific niche. And I remember when we was having this conversation when we first met, which was quite a number of months ago, when we were talking about Matt Fidesz franchise as well and things like that. So that's right. Really interesting and that kind of stuff. But I know that some of the people that are listening in that, maybe Matt Fidesz is probably not as familiar, you guys, in North America and Asia. So, but anyway, more applicable to Europe.
Well, here's a story for you as well, very quick one. Yeah. When I was at my distribution company, the people in America will have heard of a martial arts company called Century, and heard of the Bobs and the body torso, the punch things. You see them on TV and people and stuff like that. I was a main distributor for that company in Europe.
Oh,
so
okay.
we were $1 million account for Century martial arts just in Oklahoma City. Anyway, just quickly, around about 2002, this was a bizarre thing as well. I think I might have told you this. I got this phone call. We were going through a growth phase then anyway, and it was just chaos, organized chaos. Sure. And I got this phone call one day. It was one of my ladies who was a sales rep, said to me, "Oh, you've got this guy's ringing you up. He wants to sell you this nutritional thing." And I said, "Oh, yeah, I'll take the call." And I took the call, and I said, "Hi." And he said, "Hi, my name's Tim Ferriss." Okay, you remember the story. Now, he hadn't written his book, which is the 4-Hour Work Week, I think. It was the product was Brain Quicken, and he approached us because we were kind of in the sports industry, and eventually through loads of he used to ring me up and say, "Dave, it's really early here. I have to get up early to ring you up." It's kind of a funny situation. And we started selling it anyway. About 5 years later, I'm in an airport waiting to go to the States, actually, to Vegas, to a show. I thought, I need a book to read. So I went into one of the shops, and I always look for something motivational like yourself, Adam. And I saw this book there, and it said The 4-Hour Workweek. I thought, well, that looks interesting. Didn't know who, remember, he hadn't written the book then. And so I opened the book up, and I start reading the beginning of it, and I'm going through his beginning of his story. And blow me, he gets to this thing, and he said, and around about 2000 I started my first product called Brain Quicken. I went, you're joking. It's one of those moments when you think, that was Tim Ferriss, man. And he's kind of like the podcast king, isn't he now? So
absolutely. It's a great story, that. But that's I like that. It's very cool.
Yeah, there you go.
So anyway, so tonight we're talking about sales funnels and lead magnets and things like that. But I guess I've got some questions. And I know that a lot of, I'm going to call them sales funnel virgins. Okay. First of all, what is a sales funnel in broad terms? Because I know that it can be it can be a terminology that may be very sort of jargony if you've never heard of it. Can you give us a kind of an overview?
Yeah, sure. I mean, a sales funnel, lead magnet. At the end of the day, if you look at a website, it's just a bunch of web pages.
Yeah.
But it takes you from the funnel, but basically is the concept of taking somebody a customer on a journey through the end result, which is getting a sale. But a funnel won't let them take any other action other than to leave. So if you go onto a website, the definition is, a confused mind will generally say no, which is a Russell Brunson quote, I think.
Absolutely.
So if they go onto a website, the traditional website, there's all the links on there, and there's loads of different pathways that a person could go onto a web page. You might land them onto put them onto a landing page on your website, but they can go anywhere else. They might go, oh, we'll go and have a look at where they are, or find out about us, or stuff like that. So a web page, it doesn't convert as well as a sales funnel. So a sales funnel will convert, as they say around about 6 to 1 against a website. So it's a series of pages that you take the customer on a journey. The aim is to data capture at the first step, and the end result through that would be a sale or a series of sales.
Cool. All right. Very good.
Pretty much.
That's it. And well, you'll be able to. And this is a really good one, because I know that I've had so many conversations, especially with businesses which are quite new to the market, and they're so addicted to building a website. Okay, but can you give me? I mean, and Russell talks about this a lot, and the fact that he says that websites are dead and things like that, but. And here's the thing: like with websites, you could build it on a platform like is it Wix or whatever it is, or you could put it on WordPress or whatever it might be. But have you got any advice? I mean, what's the big advantages of having a website or having a sales funnel over a website?
I think the advantage is to have both, because your website is the window to your world. If you have a product or a series of products, and from an SEO point of view as well. So if somebody's searching for you online, you're more likely to come up with your website than the funnel, which is because the funnel isn't necessarily geared to come up in search rankings. You either need to use organic methods or paid traffic to get them to that, or send them from. This is what I'm into at the moment, which is the social media stuff. Is optimizing your social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever you're using, to send traffic to the funnel. But use your website. You should be optimizing your website in virtually every page. If you've got a journey you want the customer to go on, or you want to capture their email address, name for future marketing, then use your website, use your social media, send them all to the funnel. Everything leads to the funnel.
I understand.
If you don't, but even if you don't have a website, it doesn't matter, because you can still use social media. Yeah. So I don't think websites are dead at all.
Okay, because especially with sort of the beginning stages of building a company, where they're trying to attract new clients and new customers and things like that. I guess because their funds are extremely low, and they're so and what's really interesting is, especially with when I look at new business owners and entrepreneurs, is that they do the wrong things over and over and over again. They focus on non-revenue generating activities, building a website during the day when they should be being out connecting with customers and building relationships. You know what I mean? But I guess a sales funnel is a fast and effective way just to get something out there and have some presence, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's easy to build. It's not easy, because the funnel at the end of the day, Adam, is just the vehicle, the mechanism. You've got to, as we've been through, you've got to be able to populate it with the right information. It has to be written the right way with the sales copy. You have to actually have the appealing copy. You got to have the appealing image, or the video, the call to action. That's all got to be right. But the good thing about it is you can quickly change these if you split test and measure what works and what doesn't. It's easy to change very fast.
Yes.
So that's good. You know, it's easy for that.
Cool.
But it is, there's a load of things that go in there. You've got to put your autoresponder in there. You've got to, you know, link up all your emails and write those effectively, all your follow-up sequences.
Yes.
All that stuff.
Yeah. We were talking about this morning around having your systems in place, like having, for example, a CRM system or an email system in there. A payment system like Stripe or PayPal or something like that. So you've got to have your systems interconnected, haven't you? And
I mean, I'm watching today, and he runs a successful martial arts school, and his brother's one of the top MMA fighters. Actually, he's a lovely guy, and I was saying to him today that they've just started using a martial arts CRM. So in the fitness industry, you've got CRMs for that type of niche. And he's using one. There's martial art ones, and they cross over a lot as well. And I said to him, for your autoresponder now, you using either ActiveCampaign or Aweber or whatever it is to capture the lead at the top of the funnel. So you go, here's my lead magnet. I give you this, you give me that, which is the exchange. Because the customer journey, at the end of the day, they want to know. They're not going to do anything unless you tell them about you. Now, they're there for a reason, and if they found you, they've got a need and a want and a desire to find out more about you. So instead of going down the old traditional route of give us your email address, we'll send you a free thing, which doesn't convert so well, it should be it should be approaching their point of pain in your sales copy message and saying, I've got the answer for you in this free report, like a PDF download, which are making a big comeback now. They were the big thing years ago, and now they're back again. So give them the thing they want, and say to them, and actually go onto their level saying, look, from point of view, an example from the martial arts point of view would be this: you land on my page, and I'm there, and I'm the video, and you go. I would say, fantastic, you've landed on our page. You're clearly looking for a martial arts class in your area, and you've come to the right place. When I started out, I was just like you. I didn't really know where to look or what to do, and it was very confusing. I was quite anxious about going to the martial arts class. In fact, it took me 4 weeks to even turn up. But you're in the right place, because I've actually covered all those points for you, and all you need to do is give me your email address, your name, and your phone number, and I'll send you my free report. It covers everything you need to know about our martial arts school. Do that, and I'll see you on the next page, and you can find out all about us. Boom, that's it.
Very simple. Yeah.
and then they go to the next page.
And it sounds easy, but I guess a lot of people will try to make things complicated. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, you just kind of brushing up, but it's kind of more of a story. People try and put themselves in your shoes. Do you know what I mean? So like if you write it as if you were in the customer's shoes, then it kind of relates to people, and it's like, oh yeah, I need to do that. I need to get that. Do you know what I mean? So that's it. Right. Because tell a story. They want everything we watch on TV is a story generally, you know. And the beauty of the story is you're capturing their attention, and then you can address their false beliefs and rebuild those beliefs in your sales message, the customer journey. That's the key. There's the soap opera sequence that follows on after that, which is basically a soap opera. It's like you watch something on TV,
it doesn't give you the answer. So you've got to go to the next episode. That's that type of series as well. But I think from a traditional, I was in on a sales meeting about a week ago on a live call to somebody in New York.
Okay.
And they'd done a meeting and they called me in a little to answer some questions about sales funnels, and they'd done market research on actually the martial arts industry. And I don't just do martial arts, believe me. I mean, I've got coaching guys. I've got one in Toronto, another in British Columbia, who are gym owners. So, and anyway, so the guy did a sales brief of what he'd found out about the industry, and what his suggestion was about how they should approach it. And it was all based around traditional marketing methods, using a website, SEO, all those types of things. But to me, are what the old venture guys were looking at. That's the numbers game they wanted. When it's not about that. It's about being your guys and ladies who are watching now. It's all about actually you educating your customers to know who you are, being slightly different to your competition and knowing who your competition are.
Right.
And that's all got to be in your message as well. But you've got to actually approach it from the point of view of you're telling that story about your company. That's the thing you need to differentiate yourself from. You're in a red ocean, most people.
Sure.
It's a shark fest going on. So what makes you different from everybody else? That's the key. And a funnel will help you do that.
Cool. Very good. Guys, if you have any comments or questions for David, by the way, if you are listening to the recording of this, okay, feel free to make a comment in the comment section, and either I will see it and then I'll either pass the message on to David or whatever it is. So feel free to make comments at any time. Or if you have any questions around sales funnels, because I know it can be quite a new concept for a lot of people. So it's kind of cool. So let's talk about lead magnets and the importance of a lead magnet, because I know you talked about free reports and things like that. Because I know back in the day, right? We talked back in the day, right? 10 years ago, you'd be like, hey, get my newsletter. All you got to do is put your email address in, right? Okay. But I know that times change because it doesn't work like that anymore. But can you tell me a little bit about what is a lead magnet? Okay. What's the benefit of a lead magnet, and maybe some examples of some lead magnets?
Actually, I should have brought one of my ones in. Actually, it's in the other room. I've got a downloaded one. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Good.
They're becoming a lot more digitalized, if you like. There's lots of different versions. It can be a video, so it can be you can send somebody a video report. It can be a testimonial type of thing, which is a great third-party example. But remember, at the end of the day, it's got to be about what it is they're looking for. And if they've landed on your page, there's clearly a need, because there's three types of traffic. There's the people who don't know you and don't know what you do. So that's the big outer circle.
Yes.
Then there's the people who know what you do but don't know you. Yep. And then there's the people who know you and know what you do. And they're the easier ones to market to.
Sure.
So when you're doing kind of Facebook ads, that's the time of three approaches you've got to have. But your lead magnet really needs to be about you. It needs to be an introduction to what you do, but addressing the issues, and like I said, the false beliefs, and breaking those down, and whatever it is you sell, addressing it with that and saying how easy it is or whatever you do. And it's just your story, really. But in the PDF, for example, if it was a downloaded report, you can still hyperlink and copy in there where people can click on the PDF and go back to the funnels. There's so many ways of sending people back. Not like the old days where you join a newsletter, like I said, which were the old ways of doing it. But a lead magnet needs to be exactly what it is. It is there to get an email address, a name, and a phone number. That's the thing. It's the exchange. I give you that, you give me this.
Yes, absolutely. So it's kind of the form of currency, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's your Bitcoin, if you like. Your online money. Yeah.
But
don't invest.
With regards to in exchange for, because I know that the consumer's mind in particular, especially if I think of myself, for example, and I see like lead magnets and stuff like that, I'm skeptical straight away, right? I mean, depending on what the lead magnet is, of course, but I'm skeptical because, I guess there's two ways in which you can look at it. You think to yourself, well, if I sign up to this person, right? Number one, am I going to be in their circle for like the rest of my life? And am I going to get bombarded with sort of emails which I already get 300 a day anyway,
Yeah.
right? And number two, I suppose the other thing is no one likes to be sold to, but everyone's willing to buy. So it's kind of it's kind of a weird one. Do you know what I mean? So you know, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, because I know that the touch points, and we were talking about this morning actually, the touch points maybe 10 years ago was maybe 5, whereas now it's kind of, I don't know, something ridiculous like 13 or something.
I think you've got, if you're online, you've got to create a following. Gary V is very, you know, you should listen to him, even though if you don't like, I hated the way he used to talk it to start with, and I wasn't really into the swearing either. I mean, you know, but now I don't care, because he's pretty much, he's not telling us anything new, he's just telling us what's happening. He's very good at predicting things, as you know, and so I listen to him a lot about things like that. And you've got to be current. You've got to. I think I forgot earlier, because I was going off on a tangent, I guess. The noise, the art of noise wins, basically. But it's got to be relevant, constructive, in context as well to your audience. But like you were saying then, it all depends. If you're not sure, Adam, then that you're in one of those 3 customer groups.
Yeah.
You know, you know what it is, but you don't know who it is who's trying to sell it to you.
Sure.
And that's the problem. So that, you know, it's always going to be there, but you've got to try and overcome, as the business owner, you need to overcome that with your market presence. So you should be posting regularly. Sending out to my coaching clients at the moment, and this isn't new either, but it's a list of daily things they should be posting, or just tripwires for them to give them ideas on what to post each day.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And things like that, because you know, you sit there and you scratch your head and you think, well, what am I going to tell them? You know, that's the biggest problem, is what do I write? So it doesn't have to be about your business all the time, because all you'll do is, if you just keep putting adverts on your pages all the time, you just piss people off. They just go on there and think it's just a sales pitch all the time. So you need to be a bit relevant about your message. I think that's the thing. And change things around. You know, tell funny stories. You know, ask a question, ask for a survey, do a prize, ask for, you know, who's done this, a win, or stuff like that. You know, what the success has been, or what is it you're looking for? Because the best way to address a problem, or try and figure out what your customers' needs and wants are, and this is through a funnel as well, again, is doing the old Ryan Levesque ask campaign. You know, so you ask the customer what their pain points are, knowing in the back of your mind you probably have the answer, but you ask them up front, say, if there were 3 things that you wanted, that if I could fix 3 things, or what are the 3 things in your business at the moment that, you know, are the top 3 that you want to fix? And if it's marketing, you know, increasing your sales, market presence, stuff like that, what are the 3 things that are the most painful to you that you want to fix straight away? You know, and then take the top one and answer that, or just say, what's the one thing? Because that's the big question, the one thing. You know, and when they tell you, it's again, I'll throw names out there. Jeff Walker, in his product launch formula thing, he's been around since the beginning. Jeff Walker, and his thing's called the product launch formula, and he calls it a seed launch. So it's like planting a seed. It's not a tree yet. You're not trying to sell the tree. You've got the seed. You're trying to find out what the tree is going to become. So it's that type of question. So you could be approaching your customers from that point of view. So you're not selling them, you're asking them.
Yeah, you're asking them for their opinion more than anything else.
Yeah, so because in your market, in your niche, what is the problem? What's the one thing that could be fixed right now? And you'll get all the different answers. Then you can figure out your product delivery or product development that way. You know, because you might not have the thing you actually want. You might realize, actually, we don't do that, or so you can develop that way.
Cool.
And sell it in a funnel.
In terms of the actual funnel itself, what are the considerations, the main considerations that you need to take into account? Because you mentioned a couple already, but what would you say are kind of the top 3 things that you need to take into consideration when you're, I suppose, you know, I guess you're kind of planning your funnel out, if you like?
Don't build it until, like, you've just hit the nail on the head, Adam. Don't build anything or start constructing things until you've mapped it out on a whiteboard, first of all. Because you know what I mean? Because you start building things and then it gets chaotic. So map out the journey for the customer, or write it down. I think another guy used to say, it might have been Brian Tracy, used to say, think on paper, and put goal plan that way. So map it out. So you've got your landing page is your main one for people. What's that going to consist of? You've obviously got to drive traffic there first. You've got to think of, how am I going to get the traffic there? And then the landing page goes to the sales page, goes to, you can have an order bump on your page as well, where you're selling a product. Say it's a $7 product or £7 product. And then they're already fielding their card details. And you can have an order bump saying, buy, for an extra $37, you can get this, click here, bump, you get the order bump. And that goes to a one-time offer. So you could sell them like a course, which would be enhancing the download they get.
Yeah.
So you could have a master course, which is a video course of the whole thing, rather than they just have a PDF.
Yep.
As well. Or if it's e-commerce, so for example, you're selling a physical product, and it can be, say it's on a turmeric pills, and you get a bottle of turmeric pills, and then the order bump would be get 2, and then the next one would be, well, get onto a continuity program. We'll send you 2 every 3 months. That's the type of concept there.
Understand.
If that makes sense. But then you have to think about the email sequences and your message in your email follow-up. So you need a set of emails that are for people who land on your page but don't buy, or they get the download but they don't go to the next page.
Yes.
And then you need somebody who has bought that you want to follow up on. So you need that next set of emails as well. So you're mapping out your autoresponder sequences as well.
Yeah.
Not all about sales. They must be about educational as well.
Yes.
And then the back end sequence, you can have, like I say, you can have a membership to more information, or the big one really is create your own Facebook group for customers, maybe.
Yeah.
Which is the big one. So using Facebook. And/or, I don't know about Instagram really, but if you're B2B, Instagram's a big one now as well. So I hope that's kind of it.
Yep, absolutely. Interesting question, because and I reckon, and I got this question earlier. This is before the call because they couldn't join us, but their question was, can you build a sales funnel for any business?
Pretty much. I think 99% of businesses you can build a sales funnel. I'm just about to partner up with a guy who's in a rock band.
Okay.
Right.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and not any old rock band. Well, it is. I mean, well, no, I don't know, but he wouldn't say that. But he's supported he's a brilliant guitarist and great singer, and they've supported Kiss. They've been a support band for Kiss and Aerosmith, so they're not just any old band. But he's got a God-given talent of his guitar playing, his blues playing, which is his passion. And I had a conversation with him the other day because they're releasing an album. He's a friend of mine. And I got chatting to him, and I said, you know what? You need to be, you should be, your knowledge. You should be sharing your knowledge. And he said, yeah, that's a good idea, Dave. And I said, why don't you do it online? I'll build a sales funnel for you. And he said, well, what would we do? He didn't know what a sales funnel was either. So I explained it to him. And I said, you could help people for free, because the number one word in marketing is free.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the number one. So give them the free thing, which is the lead magnet. So he creates a lead magnet, goes to this product, goes to the next stage, becomes an online continuity, which is your end goal. So he can be creating all sorts of different stuff, right? To doing live stuff with people. It's endless what you can think of. Sure. But so you can build a sales funnel for anything. Even selling physical products, digital products, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if you've got an e-commerce business and you've got a lot of products, it's a bit of a different game. I think your marketing really should be then, if you've got too many products, then you'd have to build a funnel for every product. You could end up with 1,000 funnels, with all of your SKUs. It's just Crazy.
That
And
makes sense.
that's not logical. So you either take one of your highest moving products and you bundle it up into a big offer
Yeah.
with a load of stuff connected to it and
Yes.
sell that through a funnel.
Yeah. Makes complete
You know,
sense.
yeah.
And I suppose
So
you can create a sales funnel for physical products, for services, pretty much anything really, right? That's what you're kind of saying.
got one just recently. I'm chatting to a guy in Scandinavia. All this is going on, but sort of your neck of the woods. And he got chatting to me online. I get loads of people asking me stuff.
Sure.
And he cropped up a few weeks ago on one of the groups I'm in, because I like to, as you know, as you do as well, help people out. And he said to me, Dave, he said, do you think? And he's into funnels. He said, do you think we could do funnels for this industry, which is what they call it? It's a gas and electric type of business.
Okay.
And they're commodity supply. They're a supplier of gas and electric. And he pitched, and I said to him, well, you want to pitch your boss about sales funnels? Because he said, I keep asking them, and all they're doing is cold calling people, trying to get them over onto their cheaper tariffs.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking, do you know what? They could do it through educating their customers through a lead magnet and a sales funnel, and building up the business that way, not going around knocking on doors. And that took it to another level, Adam. Seriously, and I was thinking, so that question is so relevant. You're doing anything, yeah.
It's interesting though, but even in the UK, for example, in the UK and North America, whatever it is, we still use those traditional routes of market. When you get cold calls, for example, from energy suppliers saying, hey, we can offer you a cheaper rate, or your home broadband, or whatever it is, and they still haven't got their heads around creating a sales funnel, which is education first, right?
Yeah, well, if it was me, I'd be educated, because it's all about price. It's a race to the bottom sometimes, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Which is not what you want really at the end of the day.
Sure.
And so if it was the energy supplier, I would be saying, well, you need to educate your customers on making their houses more future proof from a heating point of view. So how would you do that? Because most people don't really know. I mean, you can find it all online, but what if you actually gave and educated them where they could save money with you, and you help them actually with their installation, all this sort of stuff? Surely that's going to, you're seen by the customer then as actually a caring provider, and you're giving them more than just a service of sending them gas through a pipe.
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes complete sense. Very good.
Yeah.
So last question, because I'm conscious of time and stuff like that. But I guess my last question for you was, tell us about what you're working on right now, because I know that you've got the social media thing or whatever it is, but tell us more about what you're working on right now.
It's the social media lead magnet is what I've named it, basically. I've already been testing this with my own coaching clients since probably September, October last year. I've got proof from it, from lead generation, from martial arts school owners and gym owners and anybody with a service, really. What it is, basically, it uses a sales funnel as the lead capture. So it's the place you send them. But what you're doing is you're using your Facebook profile to start with, to turn your profile into like a sales page, in a sense, with calls to action on it. So you're changing the cover image, and when people click on the cover images, the actual call to action is in the description, and your link is there. You don't want loads of links. A lot of people either have no links or loads of too many links, and it's just confusing, or then don't even think to use it as that. And basically that link would go to your lead magnet. Also your business page as well. You change the cover, you change the call to action, you actually put in some different graphics on the page. You change some of the settings in there as well, and then you just basically using that, and then there's another part of it that sends the traffic to organically and via paid ads, if you want to do that, to your Facebook profile. But I've even had guys, and this is only Facebook, but I've had guys testing it with LinkedIn, and it's worked. It doesn't matter where you put it, you just send them back to the sales funnel, and it's called the social media lead magnet.
Yeah. And if people were interested in that, do you have a link or something, or do you have something or can they just reach out to you, or what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, if you DM me, or if you put it at the bottom of the video, I can give you the link to. There's a blueprint. Basically, I've written a blueprint, which is interactive blueprint. It's a kind of new version of it.
Yes.
So I've got that. There's also an extra, what I call the order bump, in there, which is about $37, and it shows you how to use posts, and I was talking to you about earlier about when to post and what to post to actually drive traffic.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because you've got to have that. If you just sell somebody a thing, like you said, and then they've got this thing, but it just, it's tumbleweed goes on, there's nothing happening, then you've got to have the rest of it. And I'm a great believer in providing all of that. And then there's a masterclass, which is basically, if you got the PDF and you got this other stuff, the social media posting profile, but you want really just to get it done, there's a step-by-step video of every single step, and there's about 30 videos in there walking you through setting it all up.
Makes sense.
And it is absolutely, it's priceless. And for the price of it, it really is. It's a great starting point. Really is.
Very cool. And even though it can be applied to pretty much any business, right?
Any business.
Very cool. Very good. Yeah. So guys, if you want to, if you want to have a bit more information about that, then what I was going to say is connect with David on Facebook or LinkedIn.
On Facebook, it's on Facebook. It's not on LinkedIn at the moment, but my Facebook profile is David Lowe 123. Or you'll find me on David Lowe. Marketing warfare is my kind of my brand thing I'm doing.
Love it.
Yeah. You'll see it on there. The warfare. It's like waging war on marketing. The links are there to the funnel to go and get the blueprint. And it's $7 to start with, but the fully blown one is about $197. But it's worth $500 in my book, probably more.
Sure.
So
makes sense. Very cool. So, guys, if you were interested in how to monetize your social media, right? Because that's what it is. You're monetizing your social media profiles and things like that in order to increase leads, conversions, and also sales. Then you can find out a little bit more information through David on Facebook and things like that. So feel free to connect with him and stuff like that. So listen, I hope that you've enjoyed tonight's call, because I have. Have you enjoyed yourself, David, by the way?
It's been fabulous, Adam. And I promise not to call you Andy anymore.
Thank you very much. That would be a good start. Or good finish even. That's all good. All good. Yeah. So guys, if you were listening to the recording of this, or if you have any comments or questions, feel free to use the comment box and we'll get back to you in the next 48 hours or so. So Dave, just want to say thanks very much for your time. Really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, and appreciate you for having me on the show. Brilliant. Loved it.
Cool,
I hope everyone got some content from it.
Absolutely. Well, I did.
Good.
I did. I always get great content anyway, so that's all good.
Yeah.
So guys, I was going to say, just want to say thanks very much for, if you are listening in on the YouTube channel, great, fantastic, this is awesome. If you're listening in through the 5-day productivity enhancement challenge group, like I said, we today is the last day of that challenge. We're going to be doing an extended version of a 10-day challenge on March 16th. And we're going to have, it's going to be 10 different topics. It's going to be action-packed. It's going to be lots of energy, lots of accountability, and lots of great ways to grow and expand your business. So, so just want to say thanks very much from me and David. So thanks very much, guys. Have a good evening wherever you are. Good morning, and we'll see you soon. Take care.